te titiro iho koe I tēnei wā. Maroke e rawa te wāhi nei. He pāmu kē I enei rā. Engari ai ki ngā kōrero o ngā tūpuna he roto nui tēnei wāhi. O mua rā he aha he wāhi kai. Ki ngā tuna, ki ngā kewai, ngā raki parera, kanai, wera ahua kai katoa kei konei. Nā tupunoki nā koroi, nā kahikitia. Nā taro I ngā taha o te roto. Māra kai, mahinga kai. He wāhi nui mō ngā hapu mō ngā tangata o konei. Yeah, we've got our 3 hapu, taha wai, Ngāti te ao and te uri o hina, which, you know, these days we kind of think of as pukepoto, but they were all around this area into Kaitaia here. And, kind of followed the movement of the kai around. So when the tuna were fat, that's where they were getting them. And then when the manu of, the forest, the ngahere up there, when they were fat, they were up there getting those. And likewise out at Ahipara, te Oneroa Tohe, getting the kaimoana out that way. Landmarks, yeah, well, this would have been all the lake bed down here back in the day without these kind of drains. We've got Pukepoto out that way there. You can kind of see Rangi Haukaha sitting on, Te Kakenga sitting on Rangi Haukaha. Kind of at this point in time, we're just looking at the potential of being able to restore it, and where would be the best place to start that. So yeah, and trying to look at the movement of the water through the year and where it's coming from. Like we hear that it runs off the sand hills. It also runs off our maunga here, Herekino, but all the way out, sort of the other side of Kaitaia as well, all the ranges. All the water runs down here. There's also a lot of underground water as well. So, there's bores that have brought that water up. And, the Pākehā thinking and, why it is as it is today is, to drain it all, to make great farming, good farming. But also, the potential risks to the residents of Kaitaia here. So it had this flood risk. So, yeah, we've got to sort of take all those factors in, where the water lies and what species are still living down there, both native stuff and introduced species. So where would be the best place to kind of start? That there are things living there, it's still fairly wet, it's low-lying, and that belongs to tātou o te rarawa. And it is pretty useless in terms of farmland. And so seeing what we can do there, gathering seeds as well from, rākau and stuff that are still growing here. And, researching into other projects around Aotearoa that, have had success with restoring their wetland areas and reintroducing native species like, as I mentioned earlier, the tuna and the kewai, because there are still tuna there. There are still kewai about. We've had different ones involved with from Pukepoto, as well as the Tangonge Trust. There's a local trust that is mostly Pukepoto whānau. And we've just been talking about our dreams and aspirations in terms of what we want to see here. Restore its mana and bring back life to it. And we've had various hui at both Te Uri o Hina and Pukepoto, and involving our kaumātua, and there's been interviews through that time hearing their stories as as children and what they used to do. What use they had made of the roto and the lake. And then we've had a couple of, with the noho taiao tamariki, tai tamariki, we did a site visit down here and looked at the species that were still living and what we saw at each different site the groups went to. We've just recently had a visit with some council members and DOC people who have expertise in wetlands and species recognition, and yeah, that was fascinating. Kind of at the end of it left me scared to put my feet on the ground because they'd sort of recognised a few species that were sort of rare there, so that was really encouraging and gave us a spot to potentially start working with. One thing that I love with my tamariki is, we often come and sit here and look at this place, and Rima mistakenly asked, "Oh, Mum, when's the big river coming back?" And I like to think that in his time he'll see a huge change and be able to see a body of water down there. And so when we talk about ko Tangonge te wai, he whakaua I roto I tōna hinengaro o tērā wāhi. E ne hara I ngā kupu noiho, you can see it, and it's not just the stories we hear about, those who went and caught tuna and the beautiful plantations and the fertile ground, but that it's actually got more than just cows on it and green grass and lots of drainage areas. Big step really is to try and get more local, mana whenua on board, local people with not necessarily with any expertise, but just a passion for tēnei wāhi, and to have it sort of kia ora anō te wāhi nei, kia ora anō, kia ora pai anō.